I have finally finished my 2025 PC build. It took me almost a year to complete. I would like to share my experience, the pros and cons and all the road bumps I experienced. From the beginning, I wanted to do all white build. My motherboard of choice is Gigabyte X870E Aorus Pro Ice AM5 socket. And my CPU of choice is Ryzen 9 9950 X3D. RAM in my case is G.Skill Trident Z5 Royal. So I wanted to match that like white silverish aesthetics. This is DDR5 6400 megatransfers per second RAM kit. So overall, I'm satisfied. The only one thing is it took a while to choose the proper BIOS, which would consistently and reliably boot. So I had to clear CMOS, remove second plank of RAM, and do it a few iterations to get it booted on the previous versions of BIOS. I'm currently on F7 version, and it's been improved since F4. So overall, I'm good.
You good?
Am I good? I am great.
With that specific combination. My CPU cooler of choice, this is NZXT Kraken Elite RGB 360mm AAO. This is a previous version, so nowadays you can buy up an updated version with a bigger screen. I'm happy with it. The TDP of the CPU is up to 200 watts. It can handle it just with no problem. My SSD is Samsung 990 Pro 4 terabytes. This is Gen 4 SSD. Overall, Samsung 990 Pro is a great SSD, DRAM based, so I have no complaints.
Oh, complaining? No.
Just keep your firmware updated in the Magician software, and you should be good. For the power supply, I chose NZXT ATX 3.1 1200 watts 80 plus gold power supply in a white color, so it matches the aesthetics from the back of the case, and all the cables, modular cables which are coming with it are also white. My GPU of choice is Zotac RTX 5090 Solid. You can see that it is in white color.
You are really rich.
Check out my another video where I did this white RTX 5090 myself from its gray counterpart. So link will be right here. Overall performance is matching the reference card from NVIDIA. This is non-OC, non-overclocked, and I'm totally fine with that. This is good enough for me. So next, the case. So case is NZXT H9 Elite. And in the beginning, I was very happy to choose that specific one because it gives you all that aquarium aesthetics. It's pretty roomy inside. It comes with 3 RGB fans and 1 non-RGB fan in the back, and also the RGB plus fan controller included with the case. I was choosing between H9 Elite and H9 Flow. I picked Elite over Flow because it has more items included for just a little bit higher price. But it looked like that was a trap. The problem of that case was that it used to have a solid glass cover from the top, which prevented the airflow, good airflow from the case. The temperatures were really bad on that. One of the solutions can be to purchase perforated top cover from NZXT. It was not an option for me because it was out of stock for a long time. So what I did, I purchased the Cold Zero top cover, which is made of plexiglass, and it is perforated from the top. It is exactly matching the case. I basically had to purchase it from Etsy, and it came, and I'm very satisfied and very happy with it. It comes with the air dust filter. It looks great, and in order to highlight the aesthetics from the top, what I did, I mounted my fans for my AIO on top of it, and I configured it in the pool design where the air is being pulled through the radiator and exhausted through the top. It allows me to use RGB on my top panel. So next, case fans. NZXT, I like aesthetics of NZXT. There are 2 types of case fans. There is a core fan or RGB fan. The difference is that Core has an illuminated center of the fan, which is visible from on both sides, while RGB has those circles, which are brighter and, to me, more attractive. And these RGB fans come in the RGB or RGB duo fashion. RGB would just give you a ring on one side, on the intake side, which would cover, let's say, that back properly, but it would not be suitable for the bottom ones, because bottom ones are sucking air in. So in this case, the RGB LED would be in the bottom. So it means all the fans additional fans I had to order are RGB duo, which gives you RGB circle on both sides. It doesn't matter how you will mount them. If you purchase it in one pack or pack 3, you get the controller in the box, and this is the main downside of this build. So again, which I experienced, is it is a nightmare to cable manage. So it has totally 10 fans, and each fan has its own power connector and RGB connector. So they are not stackable. It means you need to connect them somehow. And NZXT makes and produces RGB controllers and RGB plus fan controllers. So the case itself came with RGB plus fan controller, which covers 3 fan headers and 6 RGB headers. And also available as an option, RGB controller covers 3 RGB headers. It basically means that if I have 10 fans, 2 controllers are not enough. So I have to have 3 controllers, 2 RGB controllers and 1 fan plus RGB controller. Each of them require power and require USB connections to the motherboard. So now, and motherboard has just 2 USB 2 headers. It doesn't fit, right?
He's fit, you're fit, we're all fit.
So it means I need to use a USB 2 internal hub. So initially I tried to use something like this, Li USB 1 to 3 hub, but it didn't work at all with NZXT fans. They just didn't light up. So I swapped this one with NZXT 1 to 4 USB internal hub, and it worked flawlessly. And I basically used all of them, all connections, for 3 for NZXT hubs and 1 for Li hub. So now we are jumping to Li. And from Li, I'm using Streamer Plus V2 for the motherboard 24-pin header. So it's the gorgeous product. It works as an extension to your power cable, 24-pin power cable coming to the motherboard, and you can configure any type of illumination. A lot of gamers also do similar thing to the 16-pin connector to the graphics card, but because of all those power melting issues with the adapter and cables, I'm not doing it. So I'm using just the straight cable from the power supply. And also, obviously, this Li streamer requires additional hub, which requires additional USB connection, USB header internal. So next, because the GPU is very heavy, and I don't like how those anti-sag brackets look like.
I do not like it, and I do not like it.
So I decided to purchase the NZXT vertical mount for the GPU. It creates a nice support for the graphics card from the bottom. There is additional mounting mechanism on the bottom, which prevents sagging of the slot. It is on the website. You will see that this is Gen 4. But in my experience, when I connected the graphics card, Windows sees it as PCIe Gen 5 X16 without any issue. My operating system is Windows 11 Pro. Again, just one single drive. I don't use additional drives yet. I highly encourage you to watch my GPU video, because initially from day one I wanted the gigabyte wide graphics card, but it is like crazy expensive. So this is the way cheaper way to get your hands on this wide GPU. So I hope it was useful for some of you who are working on their build. Again, it was a wild journey. It took almost a year. I was waiting in lines on that RTX 5000 series lines on the initial launch. I've been waiting for my X3D CPU for weeks. But again, overall, I'm satisfied. I purchased every single component at MSRP level or below. but it took 9 months or more than 9 months waiting. So all the links for all those components are in the description. If you're using those links and purchase them, you help the channel. This is not a sponsored video. I built these builds on my own money for myself. Thank you, and see you in the future videos.